It's over at 12. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Chicken Box. You know when that live light jumps on when you just running your mouth in the background. Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. It is November the 6th. Where is the year gone? All your goals and dreams you set up last year, how close are you? Are you still on it? Or did you miss it a little bit? You can finish strong in the fourth quarter. Welcome to the Chicken Box. I'm your host or co-host, Kevin Impeccable Peck, along with Jay Jackson and the Afro CEO, Dr. Draper. How are you guys this morning?
Doing well.
Doing well. Thanks for asking.
It is afternoon, but somewhere there's morning, right? We got some West Coast people. It's night some places in Africa that are watching and other places all across the world. We're going to get into it. If you've never, ever been to the Chicken Box before, this is Afro News's creation. It happened over the pandemic. We said we were going to have great guests on and eat fried chicken, and then all of us went online. We had to stay home, so it started online and stayed online since then. But if you're from Baltimore, you know what the Chicken Box is. If you're not, it's full wings, it's fries, it's a half and half, it's salt, pepper, ketchup. If you like hot sauce, whatever you like, it's in the box. It can be greasy, but if you're hungry right now, you're probably thinking it is good. But if, on the other hand, the Afro Chicken Box is where you get to speak your truth. And today we're going to speak our truths about a tribute to caregivers. We have a special guest coming on. We want to get right into the conversation. We know everybody's running and busy. Share this. If you're a caregiver or know a caregiver or are you a future caregiver, we salute you. But share this. Hit the little arrow that goes to the side and share this with all your friends because this is going to be a great, great conversation. Dr. Tabs, welcome to the Chicken Box. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Right before she came on, I was talking about her Papa Gold. She said that was her throw.
That's my throw to keep me warm while I'm in my office.
Everybody needs a throw. When it gets wintertime, if you're on the East, Midwest, wherever it's cold, you better get you a throw. But that's a nice throw. You can bring that throw to the office. I love it. Let's jump right in. We salute you. A tribute to caregivers. Just tell us what the Caregivers Retreat is about and everything that you have going on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, November is National Caregivers Month, and we like to highlight those individuals, those of us who care for our loved ones. And so we have coming up our annual Caregivers Retreat that we do once a year, and we will be at Eden's Resort in Lancaster, PA on Thursday, November 13th, and it ends on Sunday, November 16th. And this is our second retreat, and we are excited to host our caregivers. It's an opportunity for caregivers to come and be cared for. And so we want them to come and just enjoy we have some amazing clinicians, professional clinicians who are going to facilitate some mental health sessions for them to help them manage the stress of caregiving. We're going to do some stuff with grief because grief is really important as it relates to caregiving. When we care for those people that we love, those people experience changes in their lives, and sometimes the people we care for, they transition on to heaven, and we are anticipating their leaving us. And so we address the grief that is real in the lives of caregivers. And so we got that. And this year we're going to do some line dancing, and we got a comedian. So we're going to have some fun as well. We are in where we are stationed at Eden's Resort. It is near the outlet. So they are going to have some free time. So, of course, we can go to the outlets if we want. I know last year some of them took naps because they were able to take naps. You know, that's something that a caregiver needs to, but are not always able to. And so we just excited about, we have doubled our occupancy this year. And we've also, I want to thank all of our sponsors because we have a lot of people who have sponsored caregivers to come, because the vision is really for caregivers to be able to come and not have to worry about the cost, and be able to just come and get restored and be refreshed. And so we really are excited about have them having the opportunity to do this.
Absolutely. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit
Okay.
because I got so into caregiving for a second in the retreat, which I think is great because the break is needed when you're a caregiver. But
Absolutely.
I wanted Jay Jackson to give you your honors. The doctor didn't just pop in front of your name, Dr. Tab. I see all of the
It
great.
did not. It
Right.
did
So I want
not.
him. So for the Afro archives, which are now digital as well as physical, Jay, can you give her a proper welcome?
Absolutely. So, Dr. Tony Ballward Stackhouse is a licensed clinical professional counselor with over 20 years of experience in the mental health field. She is the owner and CEO of Life Matters Wellness in Bel Air, Maryland, with her new offices now open in Owings Mills, Maryland. This was a side note. It's been open for 6 months, and she's been so busy that she has not had a chance to celebrate. So I told her, just hold it for 6 months. Just wait till your year. But the last time you were on, you were still working.
Not opened yet.
It had not opened. So
yes,
that is amazing progress.
6 months in. Yeah.
But you're way too busy to even celebrate. So I'll just let you know how things are going. So Dr. Stackhouse is poised to make significant impact. She aims to meet an urgent demand closer to Baltimore City. Life Matters Wellness provided over 4,100 sessions last year, including therapy for individuals, couples, and families. Beyond therapy, Dr. Stackhouse is building a future-focused solution, expanding services for youth, training the next generation of clinicians, and creating wraparound support for single parents facing emotional and financial strain. Dr. Stackhouse has a strong background in counseling psychology and has authored 2 books and 2 journal articles. She is known for her holistic approach to therapy, which addresses the physical, spiritual, emotional, and social aspects of her clients. She uses a trauma-informed approach to ensure that her clients feel heard, respected, and empowered. Dr. Stackhouse is dedicated to helping clients thrive, even through life's changes, and has a passion for empowering individuals through the therapy process, to say the least. So thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Chicken Box. And she has the fly throw. In case y'all don't know what throw, you missed it earlier. It's gold. It's gold. It's just a throw. Okay?
I'm gonna have to get you one now.
Hey, listen, I think all caregivers, maybe you should give them some throws as a gift. That would be cool, right?
That would be cool. That would be cool.
Maybe we get some Afro.
You wanna sponsor some? We have 20 caregivers. You want to sponsor some?
Let me think about it, because
Okay.
we could have an Afro throw that they can just for the holidays that we could get.
Well, we could. I mean, in the Afro blue.
Oh,
There you
wow.
go.
Okay.
I need to get me a throw close by.
I have a little gold in mine too.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes. Blue
Dr.
and
Draper,
gold.
Dr. Tab, we got our doctors on. I'll bounce pass it to you.
Good. Well, welcome back to the Chicken Box. We're certainly glad to have you. And I saw Dr. Tabs. I said, wait a minute. Is that her name? I think her name was close to my name, but I got it. I know exactly why. It's
Too much name. So I abbreviated it.
I don't blame you. I heard Jay's introduction of you. Impressive. When we say trauma-informed care, can you break it down for the layperson?
Absolutely. Trauma-informed care just means that whatever service you are providing, that the service provider is knowledgeable and understanding that the person you have before you has experienced trauma, and you want to make sure that you create systems that don't re-traumatize people. For instance, usually when somebody is seeking services, they have to do an intake, and they have to sit down and tell you their whole story about their lives, give you background information, and then they get assigned to a caseworker. When they get to the caseworker, if you have a trauma-informed system, you won't have that person retell their story again to the case manager, because what's going to happen is the intake person is going to share that information with the caseworker so that the person doesn't have to relive that trauma, to have to keep telling it over. Everybody I talk to, I got to tell my story again, because your system is not trauma informed. And so that just means we understand that you've already been traumatized, your experience, whatever that is, and we want to minimize you having to be re-traumatized.
I'm sure people will appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like, how many times do I have to tell this story?
Exactly.
And then the story doesn't always stay the same as it should, as it shouldn't rather, because people
Right.
remember different, different details of the story. But I want to thank you for that. Let's switch a little bit though to the caregiver. So caregivers, I'm sure, come in all different sizes and shapes and different situations. Is there anything you find in common amongst caregivers besides the fact that many of them have caring hearts, but anything else about them that the average person would not actually pick up about a caregiver?
Yes, one thing, and I find that in the work that I do, providing mental health services to caregivers and myself being a caregiver, most caregivers, if not all caregivers, believe that they don't have time to care for themselves. And so that is largely due to the fact that they spend a lot of time caring for the people that they are responsible for. And a lot of times, caregiving takes a large percentage of your life. And if you have cared for anybody, you understand the large job that it is and how it impacts your life. And so it's easy to forget or omit the care that you have to give to yourself because you're so busy trying to provide exemplary service to the person that you care for. So it's consistent. And one of the things that I always highlight, and one of the reasons why I developed this retreat is for to educate caregivers, to help them understand that you are only as good, your treatment that you give, your care that you give is only as good as you are. And so one of the things we have to keep in mind is if we keep ourselves in good shape and we care for ourselves, then we provide exemplary service and care to the people that we love. And those things go hand in hand. And so once you get that education and you get that understanding, then you prioritize your own care as much as you prioritize the care that you give for the person you're caring for.
If you just tuned in, this is the Afro's Chicken Box. We're talking to Dr. Tabs. Yes, that's an acronym. You can look her up. She's all about caregivers and retreats and mental health. Go to afro.com. I know the holidays coming up. We need your support for a subscription. It helps keep great information like this. It helps tell our stories in our community. And for less than 2 Uber Eats, you can have a digital subscription right to your favorite device. All right, now back to our regularly scheduled program. Jay Jackson.
Yes, sir. So, Dr. Tabs, how do you, or how does your team deal with the idea of the emotional and mental health of the actual caregivers? You know, how do you address that directly? Because obviously these people are helping people with maybe emotional or physical issues themselves, but then, you know, this sort of weirdly trickles down onto the caregiver as well because of, you know, the amount of demand. So how do you address that? Or what are things that you think are sort of the best practices for caregivers to address?
Absolutely. So one way is creating retreats and creating opportunities for caregivers to come together and to connect with other caregivers, to be able to talk about how they feel and share their story and to understand that they are not isolated. They are not, this is a normal part of the process. And so just creating spaces for them to be heard. We all want to be heard. Um, Giving them the opportunity to tell their story and hear other people's story. One of the things that we've done with this retreat, along with the sessions that we are facilitating, a lot of things we're doing like a panel discussion with some professionals that gives caregivers the opportunity to ask questions as it relates to what their experience is. A lot of them, one, they understand that you are not the only one. Some people feel like if I'm by myself and I'm having an experience, I feel like I'm the only one. One of the things we discovered last year that they thought was profound, they were able to put a term to an experience they were having, and that is the anticipatory grief experience. That's when you know that the person that you care for is going to transition, and you're already grieving them before they leave. And so everybody was excited because they have a term for an experience. And so it's opportunities like that to be able to come together and share and hear from professionals that share their experience. We have psychologists and we have social workers and we have other therapists who are going to do different sessions that is going to be informative. The other thing is, education is power. The more education we have, the more we can avail ourselves to finding ways to solve some of the problems that we have as caregivers, learning how to ask for help and develop support systems based on what you have and not feeling like you have to do everything yourself as a caregiver. So it's a number of ways that people can do to manage their mental and their emotional. And that's what this retreat is. It's a holistic approach. We deal with the physical. I talked about us doing line dancing, but we also have a psychologist who is going to do some meditation and yoga, and those are things, and journaling as well. And then we have a psychologist that's going to deal with schema and trauma. We have somebody that's going to deal with self-care. And then we have some spiritual components as well. I added the comedy because I love to laugh. And I think that we need more laughter. And so we added the comedian this year as well. So it is a holistic approach, and it all helps people to learn how to balance how we manage our mental and our emotional state.
Beautiful. Can I turn left for a second? Because I know some siblings who have really gotten into it because one was doing more of the caregiving than the other, and they felt, do you touch on that at all?
Yeah, I think that what we don't understand about things is everybody has a role to play when it comes to caregiving, and everybody might not have the hands on. Like me and my siblings, we do. Like if my parents have emergency situations where they go in the hospital and have surgery, all of us play a different role. And it's not, and everybody understand what each other's role is as it relates to our parents, and as they get older, what role we play. I think a lot of it really is about communication, because as when siblings get into this dispute about who's doing this and this person is not coming around, and really the real issue is people avoid seeing what they don't want to see. So it's not like I don't want to care for my parents, I just don't want to see my parents progress to the point where they're going to transition out. And because we don't want to have those conversations, we don't know that the person is not really the person is avoiding, but not for the reasons that you think. So I think it's just important for everybody to have communication, which is always the problem why we have a conflict, right? Because we don't have the conversation. Sometimes people don't even know why they avoid, and so they can't say, I don't want to see mom like this, or I don't want to see dad like this. And maybe they can do something else while the people who are able to watch mom and dad transition, because the truth is nobody wants to see their parents transition, right? Nobody wants to see none of their loved ones transition, but it is a part of life. It's a cycle of life, and we all will have to experience it. But I think the better we are able to communicate, the better we are able to transition in a way that it doesn't cause conflict as it relates to who's doing this and who's not doing that. So to answer your question, it really is about communication.
Right. Y'all heard that, right? You know who you are. Some people mad at each other now. They're not even speaking to each other because I feel
Yeah.
like I'm doing all the work. So what is there help financially for a person who maybe doesn't know that there is help, even if it's for a couple hours a week, or 2 or 3 times a week, that they can get a break, like you said, just to breathe outside?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I tell people all the time, you got to use all of your resources. So there is some assistance, depending on where you live and your
Mhm.
circumstances. If you are military, they have help where you can get respite and you can get assistance as it relates to caregiving. If you're not, depending on whether you live in the city, Baltimore City or Baltimore County, Department of Aging has some resources as it relates to respite. There are also some agencies, some private agencies that do respite. As it relates to respite, you definitely got to do your homework as it relates to um, checking out the companies that you explore, because you don't want to leave your loved ones with people that you're not sure about. But there's definitely a system. The other thing is talking to family members and talking to them about what's needed. A lot of times caregivers do everything on their own, and sometimes and they shouldn't have to, and people should automatically do or offer help, but we know that they don't always. So sometimes you just got to ask. If you need somebody to come and clean, or you need somebody to come sit with your person while you go take a break, sometimes we just got to open our mouth and say, you know what, I need a break. I need you to come and assist me. So again, it's always going to go back to communication.
Absolutely. Dr. Drake.
So I'm curious. So we have the retreat next week. Yay.
Yes.
And I know you said you had it last year as well. So how did you convince people to leave their caregiving duties to
I
go?
know it's hard. It's very hard. I have a number of people who are not attending this year because I can't. So this is the thing. When you start to do everything, then it's like I can't trust nobody with my mother, or I can't trust nobody with my spouse, and so people do that. And the only thing I can do is give them the information and talk to them. Sometimes some people get to the point where it's so needed, they get to the point where they're like, oh, I just gotta go, and I just pray for the best. But I think the best thing really, and because we've done it before and people were planning, is to have somebody that you trust. You tell them in advance, and you set up the system and everything that's needed so that people are there to provide care for your loved one. And it's not something that you like, oh, I need it tonight, but it's already planned. So the majority of the people who are coming, at least half of the people that are coming came last year, so they were planning all year and they had their care provided. And then the other people, they did as well. But it is difficult, people. It is difficult. Me being a caregiver, I remember the first time I left to go on a girls trip from my husband, and you feel guilty because you're going and you're going to have fun, and it's like, oh my goodness, you do feel guilty. But what you got to understand is where I started with, is that your the care you provide is only as good as you are. And if you are not refreshed and restored, the care that you give is not going to be good.
Okay,
So
so
people just got to learn how to prioritize that.
yeah, so if someone's watching this broadcast now or a little later, and they say, "Ooh, she's talking to me. I need a break."
Yes.
Do they have to wait to 2026? Tell me a
No,
little.
we have a few slots. We have 2 slots available currently. And if they are interested, they can visit our website, which is www.lifematterswellness.com. Again, that's www.lifematterswellness.com. Or they could give us a call at 410-650-9919. Again, that's 410-650-9919.
991. And did you say no cost for the caregivers to attend?
So it's a minimal cost for them. It's just a $250 deposit,
Okay.
and then the remaining portion is sponsored. So yes, it is minimal. We want to get it to the point where they don't pay anything, but we're still growing our partnerships and our sponsorships. So that's where we are currently.
So it's 2 days. It's
No, it's 3 days.
three.
We doing third. Yeah, because last year we only did 2 days, and I always do a survey when I do an event, and 100% of the survey, the caregivers last year said we need more time, and so I know I eventually want to get it to a week. But as you said, people have to find somebody to care for their people for a week, so
Wow.
we just added an additional day this year, and next year we'll add another. We'll keep adding until we get to a week. But we know that people got to find proper care for their people. But yeah,
So I'm gonna ask our producer to put the website and the number back up there. So it's 3 days. It's next.
Yes, Thursday through Sunday, next Thursday through Sunday. And not only are we having facilitation of clinical sessions, we're also going to line dance. We have Big Energy is coming to do the line dancing, and then we have a comedian that's coming. Eden's Resort is a wonderful resort to come and relax. It's a great environment. I also talked about it being near the outlets for all the women that like to shop, and men too.
I'm about to say, hold on now.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
Yes,
get,
the men
don't get
too.
carried away. Then the women that bring the men and say, "Hey, we going shopping." They really saying, "Honey, take me shopping."
But that
Yes.
brings up a question though. Are most of the caregivers female?
The most, well, they are actually not, but the ones who attend the retreat, yes, we have two men. Last year we only had one gentleman who was brave enough, and I kept telling him I was going to try to find him another caregiver, and I wasn't able to. But this year we have two men caregivers. The men caregivers, they don't want to take, they just don't want to take care of themselves. We gotta do something to get the men there, because men are taking care of their loved ones as well. And so we want them to be cared for as well. So it would be good if we could get two caregiver men to join us. That would be awesome.
But in general, you think that it's an equal number of men and women who are serving as caregivers?
I think so. I believe so. I mean, because the caregivers that we are working with are caregivers of those of their loved ones. We do acknowledge that nurses and those people who provide healthcare are caregivers as well from a different perspective, but we definitely want to hone in on the caregivers who provide personal care for their loved ones.
Dr. Tabbs, let me ask you a question. We talked offline here, so I want to make sure that I touch on this. With SNAP benefits sort of in peril and actually being stopped currently, for folks who don't know, like food stamps and food assistance from the federal government, how has that impacted sort of your practice? Have you seen a lot of people come in with, very much issues with, food scarcity and maybe things that they've never had to deal with before, but suddenly, because they were sort of on the line, they're now falling into that? And how are you guys dealing with that?
Absolutely. We provide services to a number of government employees, as well as those people who are SNAP recipients. And people are just really concerned right now. They are really afraid about what is going to happen in the near future, because, we in the midst of the government shutdown, and it is impacting so many people in different ways. And so we have done a number of things. We have provided free mental health services to our clients who no longer have the medical benefits to receive mental health services, as well as those who still do have their insurance. We have ceased collecting copays. And for those people who are SNAP recipients, we have resources where people you can make calls to get food from different places. And so we've been disseminating that information where people can get food boxes, and where they can either be delivered or they can pick them up. And so a number of things. The best that we can do is just share the information that we have, and just make sure that everybody is well emotionally and mentally, because it's impacting everybody in some way.
Yeah, I think people are, to your point, I think people may think that it is only impacting people who are sort of direct recipients of these benefits, or even just the caregivers quite directly to those people. But this is going to, this is sort of, going to, wash over everybody, just because
because we
people who didn't think
connected
they
to
were going to be
people.
caregivers
Exactly. But we are connected to people who receive SNAP benefits, and everybody is going to be in a position where we're going to have to all share what we have, right?
That's right.
Because that's where our culture, that's who we are, and we're not going to let people be hungry, especially children. So it's going to impact us all in some way, whether we are helping those people who are directly impacted, But it in some way it's going to impact us all.
Absolutely. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. The time is running near. It's a tribute to caregivers. The caregivers retreat. We got 2 spots left. Hopefully, men. They said it might be a masseuse there for men to get their feet and back rubbed. I'm not sure. I don't know.
The
Maybe.
feet in the back rub,
Yeah,
really?
fellas, they need a back rub every now. Come on. But you might get 2 fellas there. Just tell them a good masseuse. You know.
Maybe a good masseuse is listening to us, and they can
Yeah, there you go.
back rubs and
feel
feet
the
rubs.
need.
Yes.
Feel led to
Feel led to come and partner
those
with
who
us so
always
that
give
we can
care.
provide good care for the caregivers. Yes.
Absolutely. This is the part where we get on the box, everybody, and we give our final words about this topic or how you feel. You just need to get something off your chest real quick. We cool with that. We might not agree with you, but if you want to step up on the box and say whatever you need to say to make your day better, let's do it. I'll start with you, Jay Jackson, or Dr. Dre, because I know you have a meeting to run.
Okay.
You're on the box.
So let me start by thanking you, Dr. Stackhouse, for being with us on today again to talk about such an important topic. You're right. We don't take care of ourselves well, and when it's time for us to take care of others, we burn out sometimes before the person that we're caring for burns out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is important. This is National Caregivers Month, I understand, and so
yes.
how timely it is for you to host this retreat. And I just want to say congratulations to you and thank you for all the work that you do in a space. I can't imagine how much caseloads have increased in this very stressful environment, not just caring for people, but just people are stressed and therefore more people need care.
Yes, absolutely.
More people need care and more caregivers are needed. And I want to give a shout out to the caregivers. Some are caregiving, as you said, for family members, but some are caregiving for people they don't even know.
Absolutely.
They're not your family members. They're just neighbors, church members, people that have interest in. And so I salute and applaud that and the work that you do. And my last thing, I'm getting ready to get off the box. I pray you're taking care of yourself.
I am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And have a wonderful retreat. So I'm going to pop off for this meeting, Jay, and Impeccable. See you next time. Again, thank you. Have a great retreat.
Thank you.
Shopping for me. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Jay Jackson, you're on the box. We're wrapping up this tribute to caregivers. And man, it is time to really think about somebody outside of yourself. Stop being so selfish. Anyway, Jay Jackson.
There you go. So one, thank you, Dr. Tabbs. We appreciate you being on the show. And we'll see you in 6 months, and so you can tell us about your celebration. We're gonna
yes.
But look, I think that obviously National Caregivers Month is a yearly thing, and it is important in and of itself. But I think now, amongst many other years, this is an incredibly important time to really appreciate people who are doing for others. Because like you said, we are going to find ourselves very likely having to share and having to do what we should have been taught to do as children, to take care of one another when somebody else is down, and also ask for help if we need it. So I think the month is coming exactly on time, as it needs to. So, I mean, whether it's mental health, whether it is putting, canned goods in a bag at a food bank, any of that stuff that you can do to help people, I think is incredibly important. And we have to remember that all of these things are linked together, right?
Absolutely.
People having fear of where they're going to get their next meal or where they're going to stay, and what are they going to do for a job and money and stuff like that. All of that affects your mental health. And
absolutely.
If you're dealing with those things, or somebody's dealing with it, lend a hand if you can. And if you see somebody who is sort of putting everything they got on the line, helping somebody who's going through that, I think you said on our last episode we had you on, just make them a meal and bring it over. Like, don't ask them what they want. Just, here's some lasagna. Everybody likes lasagna. Just bring it over. Something, help people out. Give them a little bit of relief. Hey, I'll sit and be with this person while even if you just go to the movies, even if you stare at a screen and you're like, I didn't even like that movie, just take a break. Like, it's
how
fun.
about just so they can take a shower or take a nap?
Right.
Some caregivers don't even want to do nothing but take a shower or take a nap. Something that we take for granted. Something so simple.
Absolutely. I mean, this is not the same as dealing with like a loved one who is, necessarily having like medical, issues. But I remember when my daughter was born, my wife and I were, like we're first time parents. So we're just like trying to do everything. We're just like sort of burnt out. And our neighbor came over and she was like, hey, how about you guys just go upstairs and take a nap for like 2 hours? I'll watch the baby. And I was like, this is the greatest gift I've ever
I was going to
received.
say it meant so much to you, didn't
Oh,
it?
absolutely. Absolutely. I was like, it was like that or like a brand new car. I'd be like, I'll take the nap.
I
like,
take the nap. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
little things like that help people to just kind of keep their motor going a little bit, right? And good, so you don't just burn out. So even if it's something as simple as
people
that.
need to understand you don't have to do a lot.
No.
Everybody can get in where they fit in. Do something to help somebody.
Absolutely. So with all that, I say, thank you for coming on the show. I hope people at your retreat have get the much needed rest and information that they need. So I am off the box.
I'm on the box. I'm gonna take the car, and then I'm gonna go like they do on a lunch break and take a nap in the car.
That's right. I get it.
So no, this is a tribute to caregivers. I'm sure if you're going and you're watching this, it is going to be a lot of fun. If you're not going, or you're a family member and you have a sibling or another family member that is doing primarily all of the caregiving, stop by. You see them. You know what's happening over there. Send some food. You might not, if you can't go, you could send something, just Uber, whatever. What are all those things that deliver food? It's ways to get some food. Sometimes just send a meal over there to them.
Absolutely.
Send one of those throw blankets because it's getting cold. The Dr. Tabs has. Man, just think about someone else. If you could just put yourself in your shoes, or go over there for a day and see what they're experiencing. That's your sister who's over there day in and day out of the love that they have for their family member, caring for them in ways that the family member, like I always say to myself, man, I wouldn't want anybody to be ever so, like just the small things, going to the bathroom, you're like, oh my God, I would hate to have somebody like
have to do that. Right.
It gets to that point sometimes.
It gets to that point sometimes.
And you just suck it up and you do what you got to do and keep going. But for the people who not in the trenches, come over and experience, and then maybe you can see from both sides of the fence, and y'all start talking, because y'all, you got, if you ain't talking to your sibling, please talk to them.
Talk to your siblings, yes.
Because your parents or your auntie or whoever you're taking care of would not want you guys
not to be talking
at odds like this. So go to the Caregivers Retreat. I'm off the box, Dr. Tabs. I appreciate everything that you're doing, because you're
making an
impact and a difference. And now, finally, you're on the box. You have the final words for today's show.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jay, and thank you for having me. It's been pleasurable being here talking about caregiving. And my final words is just to any caregivers that think that you need some time off, please consider joining us. We do have 2 slots available. We're going to have an amazing time. I am so excited about being able to care for care.
Uh-oh. I think she went to a blank screen. But anyway, go to lifematterswellness.com. We're giving so much care, we broke the internet, y'all.
Sadly.
So until next time, think about somebody else. Dr. Tabs, we know you're going to have a wonderful caregivers retreat. And I don't know what happened with your internet, but we love all the work you're doing, and you always have a friend here at the Afro. So, Jay, until next week, God willing, all right, everybody have a wonderful day. And if it's cold, get yourself a good old throw blanket. Have a great day, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye.